in your head you should stroke until you are really on the ground. Then your focus is not so much on the paw, and that makes it easier for the dogs to stay still. And you really go deep the whole way. And then usually I would use a lying leopard or something like that to go through the leg. And maybe it's a good idea to have the second hand on the other side. So you touch this leg too, and then it's easier to stay. And I don't stay for hours on the paws until the dog is not really feeling comfortable with my fingers at her paws. So right now I started with lying leopards along the leg, and when I'm on the paw there's not so much space, so I move to clouded leopards. And you can work on the paws if the dog is standing or sitting or lying. And then I start to do raccoon touches on the inside of the what finger?
On the inside of the toes?
Yeah, inside. Thanks. Toes was the word I was looking for. That's interesting to do in humans too. Just try a few raccoon touches of the inside of your fingers, because that's just the area where you don't get touched normally.
I did it with a pregnant woman between her teeth, between her toes. And she liked that for
New way of cleaning the teeth.
Oral B.
And if that works, I really like to go deep between the pads. And you can also move the pads in little circles, just a very little bit. Okay. And we talked just a little bit about moving joints, like if you do leg work, and you can do little circles with the claws too. So you take the nail and you make a little. You make little circles there, like this. And sometimes you have cats that if they get older, they cannot stretch so easy anymore, and they have problems to take the nails in if they want, so they don't want to cut you, but they do, and then it's a really good idea to try to work extremely gentle on these tiny, tiny, tiny nails.
I sometimes also very light, do like pulling on the nail itself.
Yeah,